Good morning. I just shared what I'm going to be sharing on my Instagram stories, but I thought I would share it here too. For the last week, I've had a sinus infection, so I've been feeling very bad. And when you feel that badly, it's hard to want to do anything else, but I just wanted to watch TV. And there's so little on TV that I hardly watched anything. I did watch a couple of movies on Amazon Prime that were G-rated, that were decent. So anyway, on Sunday I decided I was going to tape Rachel Ray and Hoda, because I thought those shows should be fairly decent. And on Rachel Ray, they were giving advice to a married couple. And Rachel Ray looked at the guy and said, "Why don't you pick up food on the way home and cook dinner?" And the whole audience clapped and cheered and thought that was awesome, even though the wife is home full time. And then on Hoda, she was with Maria Shriver, and Maria Shriver was talking all about women's empowerment. Women's empowerment this and women's empowerment that, equal pay. You know, we could do what we're doing right now on this TV show because of the women before us. She shared clips of women on the Emmys spouting their nonsense about women's empowerment. And you think about it, what is the women's empowerment that they're spouting? It's not for women to be content at home, loving their husbands, serving their husbands, bearing more children, raising them up in the Lord and to be good citizens. No, that's not women's empowerment to them at all. Women's empowerment to them is to have a career and make money. That's it. To be able to do things that men do. And then I remember during Labor Day weekend they had a Walton's marathon. I didn't ever watch that show, maybe a couple times, but so I watched one. It was a reunion, a Thanksgiving reunion, and the mother, not the grandmother, but the mother Walton, who was supposed to be so old-fashioned and everything, she had gone to college, was reading Betty Friedan's book, The Feminine Mystique, and was all excited about feminism. So that was very disappointing. And then I remember even Little House on the Prairie, which seemed like such a good, decent show, and it was in many ways, especially the early shows. But later on, Ma Ingalls got a job, and it caused tension in their marriage. And so you think about it, women today have been permeated with the feminist agenda about being empowered. Even in the churches, you don't hear them teaching young women the value of being wives and mothers and raising your children, staying home full time, that your worth and value doesn't come from a career and money. No, you don't hear that in most churches. In fact, I've been forbidden from teaching some of that in the churches close to me. And then last night I watched a show for about 5 minutes, but it was a woman that looked completely like a Jezebel. Tons of makeup, fake hair, tons of jewelry, immodest clothing. And it was just like, yuck. This is what our young women, daughters, are being raised up with. Everything's about women empowerment. It's not women being powered by God's Holy Spirit to do what He's called them to do. Because yes, being home full time, bearing children, raising children, being married for many, many years is hard. But hard isn't bad. Hard is good when it's God's will. God's will for the majority of women is to marry, bear children, and guide the home. Our society was a much better place when women knew that their ministry and their job was in their home, serving and loving their families. On my walk this morning, I walked by a daycare and I saw a mother taking her little child into a place far away from home to be with strangers all day long. And it grieves me. And then the mothers go trotting off to their jobs where they're empowered, working for a boss, working for a paycheck, having to get there in time, waiting for the clocking out, then having to hurry home and cook meals, take care of their children, and whatever, while their marriages are falling apart. This isn't women's empowerment, women. God's ways are women's empowerment. His ways is to empower women with the Holy Spirit, having Christ in us, living in and through us. That's what true being empowered on high should look like. And let's be women who love God's ways. We speak out against feminism and live out godly womanhood, biblical womanhood, so that, and with joy. Yeah, it's stressful, you're going to be exhausted sometime, but everything you do for your little children and your husband, you're storing your treasures in heaven. That's the best place to store your treasures. Not for a boss, not for a paycheck. All those, on your deathbed will be meaningless. But when your children and your husband are gathered around you on your deathbed and rise up and call you blessed, that's meaningful and priceless. Bye-bye.